Hi and welcome to DIY with Steve. Today we're going to talk about my car. Well, it's kind of weird actually presenting your own car for a show, but this car is a 2014 Ranger. She's old. She's done about 6 trips up north, all the way up to Kununurra. She's done a lot of towing. She's done close to 200,000 Ks. Most of that has been everyday driving, but there's a fair bit of that's been towing as well. There is nothing, I will say, there's still a lot of stock in her, but there's more modified than there is stock. And I'll introduce you. I was going to say, as males, most males call their cars her. Most ladies call their cars him. But you know, it's just the way the thing goes. So going from the front, because you do a lot of country driving, nice bull bar. It's MLC bar. Has served us quite well. Obviously it has fog lights, LEDs and everything else in it, like it does. It's got a 1,200 pound Renoir winch mounted in it, which has obviously the standard remote, plus it has a actual hands-free or cable-free remote, sorry. So it makes it a lot easier when you're working with it. It runs synthetic line, not wire. I don't like wire. And synthetic line, when it snaps, tends to fall. Wire, when it tends to snap, tends to recoil, and if you're in the recoil path, it usually ends up causing a fair bit of pain. As you can see, she is old, she's faded. That's going to be a video coming up where we're going to actually take her in and either get her resprayed, or you might see me attempting it. We haven't figured that one out yet. 2 antennas on the front. One is for the UHF, and the other one is for the Telstra antenna, the Telstra booster that we've got in it. The antennas are good. They're not always this long. Good thing about it is when we're in suburbia and we're not having to use them, we do that. It's a little cap that goes on it. Now we can go into any car park again, because with that on, you can't go into any car park that has multi-story car park. As we go down this side of the car, I'll leave that there. Obviously we've got covers and everything else. Towing mirrors. These are probably the best towing mirrors that I've found. They're not huge bat wings that stick out here. They come out one click for towing something that's slightly wide, and then when you have to, they rotate out even further, so you've got clearance. This position you can see around any van, so there shouldn't be an issue at all. And you can get an insert to lock it in here if you're doing a lot of towing and you're worried about it getting blown back in. They don't blow back in, but they do fold if you hit anything, which is good. As you can see with me saying she's getting old, paint started flaking off here and there. You can't even read the Featherline name tag for the awning anymore, because the awning's been on there since 2014. It has done extremely well. It's mounted on a Rhino rack, full system. So we've got the full running rail running along. We've got an oversized top to it. But if you come back here, you can actually see the normal Ranger ones stop there. Ours actually goes out an extra foot on the back end, so we've got a bit more coverage on the front end of this and a bit more carrying capacity on the top. It does tend to vibrate just a little bit, but there's a method of fixing that, which again is another video that's going to be coming very soon. Obviously, with all of the stuff that we've got on top here, which is the light work and everything else, a neat harness that runs up the side, runs up between the tray and the cab, all neatly cable tied and everything else, so it doesn't rub away any paintwork or anything else. Again, she's getting old. Steel running boards rather than plastic, just main reason that's what it came with. We've got some clearance lights on it, obviously, because like I said, we do a lot of towing. Now, we did put mags on it, because I didn't like the original car ones. They're slightly wider than the original car ones, which you can see at the front end. Now, when you actually come back, we've got flares on the rear end, because obviously when we come down to towing, we didn't want anything flicking up and hitting the caravan, or whatever we are towing. So hence we've got flares on the rear end only. We don't require them on the front. Just doesn't serve any purpose. We run Bridgestone Duelers on it. A lot of people say that, you know, it's tyre choice. We choose that. The caravan we used to have had exactly the same tyres on it, which made it really good because the stud pattern was the same, so we could interchange the tyres on it as well. As you come around, we have tried every type of awning, so please, if you can find or offer suggestions on what I can try. Now I've tried a hardcover. I actually went out and bought myself a shutter system off the Wild Track, leaked like a sieve. Had a hardcover, couldn't put anything underneath because the hardcover basically had reinforcing down to there. This is the only thing that allows us to carry 2 angles in it. So we've got a 35 litre angle on this side, and we carry a 40 litre angle on that side when we go camping. That gives us extra fit space. And you can't carry the 40 on that side when you have either the roller shutter system on it or the Wild Track roller shutter system, or the fiberglass cane, the fiberglass hardtop. Okay, so that tends to cause a slight thing with it. Mud flaps. The Rock Tamer mud flaps that are on it are really good. Again, they are set up properly. They have got a very slight tilt on them to actually deflect the stones down, rather than them just being there for show. They actually serve a purpose, and hence why they're actually there. We took off the standard Ford tow ball system and framework, and we spoke to tow bars in Perth, and we actually got them to put an aftermarket one on, because the Ford one doesn't allow the Reese hitch to slide all the way through. It actually stops it, so it tends to sit out that far, and when you bounce, it puts a lot of extra pressure on the back end of the chassis. Again, as you come around this side, reversing light. Before we go around further, everything in here is removable besides the battery system. So, not the best compressor and storage unit, but the Ridge Rider is strapped in, so it doesn't go anywhere. We've got a Rhino box up the front, which is strapped in, so we can take that out. We've got running rails that we've put in, which is what the fridge is currently strapped down to. Now, another video is we're putting an actual drawer in there so that can go in and out. We have a battery box, which is running 120 amp hour battery in it, with a C-Tech charge and management system for the solar and the DC to DC voltage. And besides that, everything else is LED on the vehicle. Stock. Recovery racks. Again, we're using the vinyl rack system behind it. which mounts to their platform system, which makes it really good. As you can see, the shovel's had a fair bit of usage, which is good when you go up north, because we've dug it out a few times just with other people and everything else. So we'll have a quick look underneath the bonnet. And the car's decided to auto lock itself. Now, as you can see, pretty stock. It is running a K&N filter inside there. The headlights have been upgraded to LED because they're better than the halogen system that we originally had. Still running the original cover, everything else. The top intake pipe's been changed because there's a secondary boost controller inside, so we can actually monitor what we're doing. The exhaust system's changed. It's now a 3-inch manual bent mild steel, not a stainless. We don't go near salt water that much, so there's no necessity for it. The headers, old school wise, are wrapped from the turbo halfway down past the cat converter and everything else to dispense the heat. We do run a TDI tuning module in it for towing purposes, and yes, I have had the comment before about why is it mounted on top of the fuse box. It's insulated and sealed so that no water goes into the fuse box. It's the same with the waterproof circuit breaker that feeds all the ancillary equipment that's in there. So it is all done. Switch for the run wide winch is here, and at the back down here there's a neat rack of all the relays to operate the full lighting system and everything else, so we don't have any issues. So if you come inside here, obviously the inside's still pretty stock. We've got an upgraded deck LCD screen in there that allows us to do a bit more navigation and everything else. I'll pop around the other side and talk you through it. So, upgraded head unit, runs our navigation and everything else. We've got 2 red arc gauges. One's a boost, the other one is a dual battery system, and the boost one also tells us EGT, exhaust gas temperature. GME XRS Connect GPS UHF. Quite like to actually nice and steady to hold the actual phone in place while we're doing forward driving and everything else. I put this switch block in. If anyone has had Rangers and does have a Ranger, they are really not helpful when it comes down to mounting extra switches. There's nowhere on it. So we put this plate in ages ago, about 4 years now, and we've got multiple switches so we can select the left, rights, rear lights, rooftop. The front spotties go through here as well, right side light, and then the switch for the Telstra booster, which is mounted in the back of the glove box. Obviously we actually have also the front dash cams, black view. That's the front one, and then if you have a squeeze backwards, you'll see the back one in the center of the back as well. All LED lights throughout the inside of the vehicle. And as we do some more upgrades and everything else, we'll go through and post some extra videos. So if you want to find out more about what's happening to the car and everything else, please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified of new videos as they get uploaded, and drive safe, and we'll catch you around.